Hi guys, today we're going to talk about our coming out stories. Um, Mine, I guess I'll go ahead and start. Okay, so I officially kind of came out to my parents at least 2 years ago, um, which actually isn't all that long ago when you think about it. Um, I'm 28 now, so I would have been 26 then. Um, I told my grandparents and my brother and sister beforehand, and they're pretty understanding about it, and they're really supportive. My parents are conservative Christians, and they did have a hard time, and still are having a hard time accepting it. So I told them 2 summers ago. They live about 2 hours away from me. I drove back down there and I went to their house, talked to them for maybe half an hour, and they threw a lot of scripture from the Bible at me about why they believed being gay was a sin. And I mean, I obviously have differing beliefs about that, but on that same note, I think my opinion is you can be gay and you can also be spiritual or be religious, and that's just that's my opinion. But they have a different view of that, so it was a kind of, and still is a process to get them to be more accepting of it, I think. But yeah, go ahead, your turn.
But they're doing better. They like me, and I like them. And you came out to your grandma first before
Yep.
you told your parents. And I love your grandma. She's awesome. And so I mean, It's not like they turned me away or anything. They
Yeah.
still let me come over, and it was kind of a necessary thing. They kind of needed to know that she was gay, because I kind of just came into the picture, drove with her 2 hours from Sacramento, and came to a lot of family functions, and I was just the friend. And it's like, how does that happen? Her best friend didn't even come as often as I did to these
Yeah.
functions, so it looked a little awkward from at least my point of view. It seemed kind of like maybe they should have known, but
Well, I mean, and I did keep it from them for a while,
yeah.
and to be fair, it probably made it more difficult on them, but ultimately it was just about timing, and I was ready at that time.
Well, it's never easy to come out, because,
Yeah.
I mean, unless your family's just like, I hope you're gay, then of course it's easy. I would think it would be easy. My family, like I had mentioned in the previous videos, I have 3 older brothers, and 2 of them are gay and one's bisexual. And my 2 oldest brothers came out before me. They came out when I was like probably 12, 13 maybe. And I came out to, I think I came out to my second oldest brother first. I told him I was interested in somebody from school, and then later down the road, when I was about 15, I told my my oldest brother, who came out first, that I was a lesbian, and that I wasn't sure, like, with the title of lesbian, because like I still feel like I identify as a lesbian, but like if we're going on like a Kinsey scale thing, then I'd say I'm like a 5 or a 4 on that scale. So I just came out as a lesbian, even though maybe I'm bi, I don't know. And so it was difficult to come out to my parents, even though others had come out before me. First told my biological mom when I was 15 that I thought I was interested in women, and she kind of wanted to start setting me up with men, which I think is kind of almost half the time the case when you come out, maybe.
I had the same, yeah.
Yeah, they just kind of start like, oh, no, you just haven't met the right guy yet. So then they start, blind dating for you and setting you up. Then when I was 18, I was in a relationship with this girl, and it lasted a few months, and she lived like an hour and a half away from where I lived and where my family was, and I worked with my stepmom, and because we were caregivers for seniors, and she and I worked closely together throughout the days, and we had the same clients. So one day I was out of town, and she was calling me and wanted to know why I wasn't at work, and I didn't want to leave the person that I was with at the time. I was feeling emotional and I wanted to spend time with them. And I had this one client, and we were really close, talked a lot. I actually came out to her before I came out to my stepmom, and I'm very close with my stepmom. I'm very close with her. And so I talked to my client that same day when my mom was calling me frantically asking where I was, because I was at my girlfriend at the time's place, and I just told my client, I'm here, and
I'm here, I'm queer.
Yeah, I'm here, I'm queer. Basically my client ended up getting called by my stepmom. My mom called her and was like, have you heard from Carly? And she was like, yeah, don't worry about it, she's fine, like the worst fears, it's none of the worst fears that you could be thinking of right now, everything is fine. And later my stepmom finally she called me, and I answered after like a couple times of her calling and me not answering, and she was like, you're at so-and-so's place, aren't you? And I was like, yes, I am. And she was like, so you're gay? And I was like, yeah, I am. And I don't know if she was disappointed I'm sure she was disappointed that I didn't come into work and that I wasn't answering my phone, which was not my typical behavior. But I think also she was hurt that I hadn't told her that I was gay, because we are so close. So that I think is my whole entire story. Being gay is not necessarily like an identification of who I am. It just happens.
It's a part of you.
It's a very minor part of who I am. Who I am is my personality, how I treat others, how I get around in the world and everything, and my morals.
Yeah,
and
so
such,
when parents or someone you're close with thinks that you've betrayed them from keeping that from them, it's not, in my opinion, it's not the case. I mean, you're waiting until you're ready, and you shouldn't have to rush that.
And unfortunately, people are going to be hurt. Like, I mean, sometimes people keep things from us, and it's just that they're just not ready to say whatever it is that they're saying, and we feel like we are.
You can't take it too personally.
Trustworthy of these secrets or whatever's,
right.
Burdening them. But we have to realize that it's hard for the individual to even say what's bugging them. And when they're ready, and they'll eventually come around to telling you if they even want to tell you. But it's just, I don't know if coming out will ever just become easier and easier as the years go by. And I'm sure when it gets more accepting, it'll be easier perhaps to say it, but I feel like there will still be this underlying fear continuously throughout the ages of
rejection.
Yeah, possible rejection from family. Who knows?
And also, it's not just one time. You don't just come out one time. And I know people have said this before, but it's a process. and every new person you meet, it's like you don't have to come out to them. It's not your responsibility. But if you feel like you want to maybe get closer to them as an individual, as a friend, then you're going to let them know about all aspects of your life, and that kind of includes who your partner is, who you're dating. So, I mean, it's not just like, oh yeah, I came out to my family and friends, that's it, I'm done. It's kind of a learn as you go, and,
So I hope that anyone who is coming out, yes, it is scary, and those feelings are natural and normal, and just you'll know when it's the right time to do it. And there is support for you. Sometimes even the people that you least expect to be supportive are the most supportive.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, as a caregiver working for seniors, I was shocked that my client was so understanding and open. Actually, when I told her that I was gay, she was like, "Oh, honey, I already knew," and I was like,
I knew before you knew.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, I'm glad that you are cool with it. So, just.
And my grandparents are very supportive. Even though they're an older generation, they,
Yeah.
it'll surprise you.
Yeah, it is very surprising, actually. So if you guys have any more other comments or ideas or anything that you guys want us to touch up on or anything, feel free to send us a comment, like the video, and we'll be sure to try to touch up on any subjects that you guys are interested in.
Yeah.
Alright? Thank you.